ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of In the Dirt right here on YouTube. Glad you could join us once again. Remember, like and subscribe if you've not done so already. We certainly do appreciate your support. Well, we got a lot of great people that we want to thank for helping us out here on In the Dirt in 2023. First, we want to thank the good folks at Draper Doors, Rito Acres Campground, Alexandria Home Hardware, and of course, the good folks at Disaster RX DKI. Well, as we mentioned, we got a few race results to pass along to you this week. Mother Nature kind of swept out on Friday night, but once again, we got a whole bunch of race results to come your way. We're back once again at Mark Hitchcock's Man Cave right here in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. And who else to talk to tonight but the former driver of the number 95 Hitchcock racing machine right behind me here. That was one of the doors that was made famous last year. And we're going to talk about that with Mark, and plus a few extra things. Of course, his Dirt Car Northeast departure and everything. He's retired from that now. We'll get into all that later on. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. You're watching In the Dirt. We're coming right back.
Rito Acres is the place to be.
It's that time of year. Time to plan your vacations and weekend fun. Why not book now for your camping and RVing at Rito Acres Family Campground, Eastern Ontario's full-service camping facility, located on a UNESCO World Heritage Site known as the Rideau Canal, on a series of lakes joined by lock systems that links Kingston to Canada's capital city, Ottawa. Rito Acres is only 10 minutes from downtown historic Kingston. Here's what Rito Acres has to offer you and your family when you visit: the spacious pull-through campsites, trailers and motorhomes, the swimming pool staffed with lifeguards, a beautiful beach to enjoy for a relaxing afternoon of fun and family, excellent fishing on Colonel By Lake, a boat docking facility for your fishing or pleasure craft, boats, canoes and kayaks available for rent, a beautiful banquet hall for weddings or meetings to fit any occasion, 136 acres of outdoor adventure, hiking, biking, playground, swimming, fishing, horseshoes, basketball, and so much more. Make Rito Acres your camping destination this year. You better book now. We're filling up fast. Visit ritoacres.com or call 613-546-2711.
Rito Acres is the place to be. Come on out, you'll see, at the gated community.
Welcome back once again to In the Dirt right here on YouTube. Remember, like and subscribe if you have not done so already. We certainly do appreciate that support. Well, as I mentioned, we got a few race results to get to, so let's get right to it, shall we? Of course, the Brockville, Ontario Speedway had yet another Action Sprint Tour East Series event brought to you by Supernaut Truck Shop. Lee Ladisser has been dominant. His third straight crate sprint car victory at Brockville and second in a row on the East Series. Kyle Dingwall, the man who owned this door right behind me here, picked up the Dirt Car 358 modified feature, his first of the season. Bobby Harrington was victorious in the Dirt Car Sportsman. By the way, those two drivers had the roofs off the car. Yes, they ran topless on Saturday night. In the Novice Sportsman ranks, Maddie Wallace picked up her first career win and a little redemption for her after the heartbreak from a week ago. And Stefan Philippe collected the Street Stock Checkered Flag, his first time ever in victory lane at Brockville. Can-Am and Mohawk, they both got rained out on Friday night, unfortunately, but we'll be back another time to go racing there. Brighton Speedway, they had school bus races there on Saturday night, but in the real program, it was Steve Baldwin collecting the crate late model feature, Ronnie Wadforth in Canadian Modifieds. Jeff Humphrey, he was the Thunder Stock winner, and mini stocks went to Caleb Severin. 358 Modifieds at the Cornwall Speedway, Corey Wheeler, 2 in a row on the season. William Racine also got his second in a row at the Cornwall Motor Speedway. Mark Lalone did it again as well in the Pro Stock division. Antoine Dumichel in mini stocks, and Matt Pruner continues to have a strong season, his first win of the season over there at Cornwall in Novice Sportsman. Rainouts at Autodrome Granby and Autodrome Drummond, unfortunately for them. Airborne Speedway Super Dirt Car Series race on Wednesday night was rained out, unfortunately, as well. Albany Saratoga, they were rained out on Friday night, but Tuesday night it was a big night. The Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds were in town. It was Chris Isle, the Heil driver, collecting his first career series win. Dirt Car Sportsmen were in action for a twin bill there. It was Cody Oakes and Mike Ballestero collecting checkered flags. Bear Ridge Speedway and Brewerton Speedways both rained out, unfortunately. They'll be back another time to go racing. Fulton Speedway Dirt Car 358 modified feature to Derek Webb. The Brownville, New York native came from 10th on the grid to collect the checkered flag, his first ever on the high banks. And Andrew Buff in Dirt Car Sportsman. Matt Williamson is untouchable in 358 modified action at Merrittville. He got another win there Saturday night. It was Cody McPherson in Dirt Car Sportsman. Glen Ridge Speedway 2 in a row as well for Jordan McCready in Dirt Car 358 action. The Dirt Car Sportsman East Regional Series was in town. Young Derek McGrew Jr. got his first career series win over there. Genesee Speedway, Phil Vigneri III in Dirt Car Sportsman action. Ransomville Speedway was rained out on their Friday night program, unfortunately, but they'll be back for next week. Thunder Mountain Speedway, big block modified feature win to Darren Smith over there at Thunder Mountain, and Jordan Millard in the Dirt Car Sportsman. At the Devil's Bowl Speedway in Vermont, it was a big block, small block modified 50-lap showdown, and who else? Stuart Friesen collected the checkered flag at the Bowl. Evan Roberts in Sportsman modified competition, Randy Ryan in Limited Sportsman, and Brian Blake in Mini Stocks. Other rainouts on the weekend, unfortunately, Lebanon Valley, they lost their show to rain, and so did the Ohsweken Speedway, but they'll be back and ready to go racing next time. Well, that is it for all the racing results. Sorry, Mother Nature kind of literally rained in our parade, but we're going to come right back here very shortly. As we talked about earlier, we've got Mark Hitchcock in the house. This is his man cave, so it's fitting that we have him here to discuss a lot of things from his major accident he had on Labor Day weekend to his now retirement from full-time Dirt Car Northeast technical inspection duties, and living life and enjoying his time here on In the Dirt. So stick around, you're not going to want to miss that one. Like and subscribe. We'll be right back with more In the Dirt.
We arrived at the building just to see from the exterior wall that the front facade was coming undone and pushing forward away from the side wall. We were just in complete shock, didn't know how this occurred.
A lot of people don't realize this, but every individual will at least have one disaster in their lifetime. And when this happens, they don't know what to do. By reaching out to a restoration professional before you have an emergency, it allows you to have some insight on what happens and what to expect. This will allow you to eliminate any kind of anxiety or stress you might go through when it happens.
The restoration company came down immediately and took the steps necessary to create a safe environment, secured the building, and that allowed the engineers to go in and figure out what the cause of the damage was and figure out our next steps from there.
Our people are fully trained and certified in all aspects of emergency response and disaster restoration. We handle everything from fire, flood, sewer backup, wind damage, tornadoes, earthquakes. Basically, we have people that are experienced in every field. There are two parts to a disaster that people don't realize. There's the emergency phase, where we come right away and stop the damages from happening. Then there's the repair phase, where we put everything back the way it was, like it never happened. And our company also offers a warranty, which will give you the comfort and peace of mind for as long as you own your property.
From the get-go, Rex and his crew were able to bring in professional contractors to come in and rebuild the building in a timely fashion. The building now looks better than ever and is up to code. They were wonderful with me, just helping me navigate through my insurance coverages, working well with the insurance company and myself. They always constantly kept me in the loop as to what was happening next. And at the end of the day, it was just the peace of mind knowing that I was in good hands.
Well, welcome back to In the Dirt, ladies and gentlemen, right here on YouTube. Once again, like and subscribe if you've not done so already. We certainly do appreciate your support. Well, as you know, in the last few weeks, we have been inside of, the Mark Hitchcock Man Cave, and this is the guy that's provided us with that. And he's taken time out of the house today to come on over and chat with us a little bit about what's going on with him and the whole Dirt Car Northeast tech inspection side of things and what's been going on. Mark Hitchcock, ladies and gentlemen, the driver of the number 95. Sorry, Kyle Dingwall, we took this from your race car the other night, but Mark, good to see you. Jeepers, you're looking just as good as you did before, and you're looking great. And how have you been feeling lately?
Oh, pretty good. I'm still going to therapy 4 times a week to try to get walking a little bit better and some of the pain out of one of my legs. But overall, it's I'm coming and getting better every week and stronger, and so I'm pretty excited about that. And glad to be up and going and being able to go back to Brockville at least and watch the races for sure. Yeah, there was an outpouring of support there when you had the accident last, I guess, Labor Day weekend, and just the outpouring of people that were concerned about you, and we're happy to see you back at the racetrack. It's got to be cool to see that many people were reaching out to try to see what's going on. You had
Geez, you had Kenny Schrader even asking about you at Dirt Week this past year, didn't you?
You know, I think that the racing community is a small community, and a pretty tight-knit group, and everybody was pretty concerned about me, and a lot of phone calls. Ricky Wilson, Kyle Dingwall ran the number 95 at Brighton Speedway, and it's kind of a tribute. Lots of get well stickers on all the cars, lots of texts from Chico Dingwall and checking in on me and making sure that I was right and going along, and big sign at Oswego with the whole tech crew and everybody supporting me, and it's pretty emotional when you're laying in a hospital bed, and to have people reaching out and making sure that you're okay. And I guess that you never realize how many friends you have in the racing community and how close they are. And it meant a lot to me to be thought of in everybody's prayers and stuff to get well, and we've got to this point, so we've been doing good so far.
Yeah, you're looking really good, as I mentioned, just as good as you did before. And this piece right here, it's aboard Mike Kelly's the safety car, but Kyle Dingwall ran this particular door at the Brighton Speedway in your honor, and he said this was all his idea. He says, I wanted to do this because you were the guy that kind of mentored him, and now it's in your possession. What do you think about this? This is kind of a cool deal, isn't it?
Well, I think we got a lot of stuff around here that came from the early days of racing, and a couple of trophies and stuff, and so this will be a nice collection for the wall, and I appreciate Kyle doing that. And I remember him when he was just a young lad, coming to the races with his father and watching me race, and I raced for many years with the Dingwalls on and off, and had lots of success and good race cars, and always Ford powered and stuff, and so that was always a good deal. And miss Ford Dingwall a lot, and all that, because it was a family deal, and we just had a lot of fun. And to see the car on the racetrack, to get the pictures from Brighton when he had it on the car is kind of emotional and a big deal, and nobody really realizes, but it hit home and pretty exciting. It's too bad he couldn't have won, but he did have success this week at Brockville, so that's good too, right?
Yeah, absolutely, he did, and we're going to touch on that too. As we already we talked about that a little bit earlier in the show, and Kyle wheeled this car pretty good that night too. We wanted a little better finish, but didn't get it. But big thing going on with you now. You're stepping away from the Dirt Car Northeast Tech side of things. Something that it wasn't intended initially, but it all started with just being a driver liaison at Brockville, and then you're teching big block modifieds at Super Dirt Week. How did that all go?
Well, it's a long road to get to that point, and a lot of things happened and just sort of fell on my lap. And one of the things that started out for me to be more involved in Dirt Car Northeast was to try to get you involved with announcing at Syracuse. And the guy that I was working with said that that's not a problem. We'll take care of that. So what do you need, a camping spot or a hotel room or whatever? And the next thing you know, I was thrown into Dirt Car Northeast deal and helping out as a tech guy. And then Bob Deeney left, and it left an opening, and I was sort of the guy, and Joe Skotnicki was the series director at that time, and he kind of gave me some freedom on my schedule and stuff, and when he left, then Mike Perotti took over, and he tightened up the schedule a lot because he wanted to be at all the races in case there was an issue, a motor tear down or something like that. And so it ended up with going to Brockville and doing the series, it was like 100 races, and doing the sealing program for the crate motors and all that. I was on the road a lot and trying to keep everybody racing with the crate motor deal, and trying to do the best I could to keep Dirt Car Northeast on a level playing field for everybody. And so it was a long haul, and I think it was just time, and kind of working and talking about retirement for 2 or 3 years, and the pandemic hit, and then we had some people step up, Mike Welch and Mike McGinn, and that sort of changed the deal because those guys were getting their feet wet, and I was still controlling it from home, but they were out in the field doing it. And then Oswego came along, which I was always worried about, and Mike Kelly stepped up and did a good job in Oswego and kept the whole team together, and he had a lot of our notes and stuff. So once we got through last year with me being in the hospital and all that, and everybody doing a good job, it seemed like the right time to maybe step away and get some new blood in there and some new ideas, and and hopefully keep the whole dirt car series and dirt car in general going in the right direction, and I think that it will.
I think so. I think a lot of the things that you implemented while you were doing this whole thing, I think they kind of stuck with the team and stuck with all the officials. And you talk to every driver in the pits, and really they don't have one bad word to say. They always say to me that you've been fair, you've been honest, but you also keep the playing field leveled, as you mentioned, and that's what you were paid to do.
Well, and it's always about building relationships and getting respect from racers, and I think that we did a pretty good job of that, and had respect and didn't have any issues with, from the biggest names down to the, rookie sportsman guys. Everybody was respected the fact that we had a job to do and what we were looking for and all that kind of stuff. And so it's been good. It was a good experience, and I think that I'm a better person for it all and all that. And, spent a lot of time traveling around with the Super Dirt Series crew and, made great relationships. Larry Woodruff and we hung out all the time and with the rest of the team. And it was just good to go through that at the right time of life. And I think it was the right time to step away too. And, and Dean Reynolds is doing a good job and trying to put all the series, try to get more races and trying to do some things, and working with Mike Welch. So, I think we got a bright future, and hopefully things keep going in the right direction.
I think so too. And, like you said, you've been at this deal now. You drove for 27 or 28 years, and now on the tech side of it for about 15 years roughly. You kind of broke that whole stigma of, well, the tech guy's just out to get him. The tech guy's out to get him. You totally took that and flipped it the opposite way. The tech guys work with you, don't they?
Well, I think from my side of it is that I raced, so I knew what we were looking for and what we were trying to do, and trying to explain it to the racers, and trying to make sure that, during the week when racers called, that I made sure I returned calls and answered all their questions so that they knew what was expected of them when they got to the racetrack. And one of the big things that we did, over my tenure was make sure that the safety stuff was up to snuff, and we've done a good job with that, and I'm sure that the team will carry on. And one time you could go to a race and there'd be 5, 6, 7, 8 cars with outdated seat belts, and you just don't see that kind of stuff anymore. And everybody has good helmets and good fire suits, and all the stuff's in the way it's supposed to be. And racing's a dangerous sport, and and I guess automobiles in general could be dangerous, but racing in general is dangerous, and as long as you have the right precautions, it makes it as safe as it can be. So that's what we were trying to do.
For sure. And, you've, like as mentioned, you've done this for a long time. You kind of got to live out your dream of kind of racing for a living, so to speak, and kind of a different role. But what's the plan going forward now for you? Is it just Brockville Speedway for now, and then see where we end up from there?
We're working with some guys at Brockville. Brad and Jamie are stepping up and going to do most of the tech work. They're changing weeks, 1 week on, 1 week off, and I'm trying to mentor them a little bit. Me and Tiger, and both of us are injured, so we're kind of the handicap team, but we're doing our best to keep those guys going and to keep things rolling at Brockville Speedway, and that's where it all started and whatever. And so that's where we're at, and we're gonna go through this summer and then see what next year holds.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've been doing a hell of a job out there, and thanks for all you've done for all of us, myself included, for however long this has been, almost 35 years and going for me. Looking around this garage here, you got so much that you've accomplished, and you got a list on the wall of all your accomplishments here. It's been quite the deal. You have to just kind of sit here and look around for a minute and realize, boy, I've done a lot of stuff in this racing business.
And it's been with so many different people, right? I've drove for so many different guys and had my own crew with my own race car, and just a great deal to build relationships and have fun and all that. And I think that's what it's all about. And it's kind of hard to give some of that up in some ways and sit back on the sidelines, but at the same time, it's it becomes a little bit grueling. And I'm not 20 anymore, and I feel like I'm 90. But anyways, it's just we just got to keep going along and try to think about good things coming ahead with the family and Sadie, and spending time at the cottage. So that's the big thing. So
well, go to the cottage and hook a big one for us. And thanks for joining us here on In the Dirt. I know it's tough out there sometimes on Devil Lake too to get one of those out of there, hasn't it?
Well, you just keep trying, just like racing, I guess.
Mark Hitchcock, ladies and gentlemen, here on In the Dirt. Thanks again, Mark, for everything, and really appreciate the time. And thanks for letting us use the man cave here for the last little while. And it's been a good set here.
Yeah, it's been good, and I guess I need to mention my wife, Mary, who came every day and took care of me when I was in the hospital. I'd be in big trouble if I didn't mention her, and she's been great, and the whole family, you and Sadie and everybody, to support the deal. Nobody really knows what it's like to go through something like that, and man, it's awful. So everybody drive safe out there and be good. So that's the deal, right?
Absolutely. Mark Hitchcock, ladies and gentlemen, right here, telling it like it is, like he's done forever, and will continue to do for years to come. So once again, we want to thank Mark Hitchcock for the time to sit down and talk with us here on In the Dirt. It's been a long time coming. We've been wanting to get him on the show, and he was able to get over here and hang out with us for a little while. And thanks again, Mark, for all that you've done for us here on In the Dirt. We certainly do appreciate that. But, like Mark said, the racing never stops, and we got a lot of upcoming events here on the calendar. Of course, Brockville, Ontario Speedway, the return of the Empire Super Sprints will be at the Boss. The Dirt Car 358 Modified and Dirt Car Sportsman will be in town. Novice Sportsman will be back, and the Mini Stocks as well for their 4th appearance of the season, racing starting at 7 o'clock. Can-Am Speedway, we were rained out this past Friday, and of course we're going to be off this coming Friday for graduation. And congratulations to all the LCS Lafargeville Central School Red Knights over there, and congratulations on your graduation. But we'll be back for the PAP Shootout on June 28th. That's a Wednesday night show, so mark that down. Round 2 of the Mohawk 358 Modified and Sportsman Series at the Mohawk International Raceway this coming Friday night, along with the Pro Stocks, the Limited Sportsman, and Mini Stocks as well at 7:30 p.m. Cornwall Motor Speedway, they'll be having the Empire Super Sprints as well, along with the Lightning Sprint Division. That's always a good show. Clyde Slinger Pro Stock Series will be in town, along with the Street Stock Invitational. Sportsman and Mini Stocks around the card for a 6 o'clock start. Remember, the Modified and Novice Sportsmans will be off. Another exciting night at the Brighton Speedway coming up this Saturday night. The MX Pro Riders will be on hand, and they'll have a full show in all 5 divisions starting at 7 o'clock. Airborne Speedway, the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds are back in town, plus a full show on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Autodrome Granby, 60 laps for the 358 Modifieds Friday night, 40 for the Sportsman, 6 classes in total at Granby, with racing starting at 7 o'clock. With Airborne running 358 Modifieds on Saturday night, Autodrome Drummond will be off for this week, but they'll be back the following Saturday. Brewerton Speedway, a full show featuring the Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds, and the 600 Modified Division will be on the card as well at 7 o'clock. Dirt Car 358 Modified Series, the High Bank Hold-Up 60 on Wednesday night for the Dirt Car 358 Modified Series at 7 o'clock. Racing will not be happening there on Saturday night. The Ohsweken Speedway, they'll have the Dirt Car Sportsman in action on their Friday night program, along with crate sprint cars, thunder stocks, and mini stocks as well. Racing starts at 7 o'clock. Devil's Bowl Speedway, they're back to the regular Saturday night show in Vermont. The Sportsman Modifieds will be on the card, plus the Novice and Limited Sportsman, Mini Stocks, Mini Sprints, and the Crown Vic Division, all starting at 7 o'clock. Glen Ridge Speedway, the Robert Fluffhagen Memorial for the Pro Stocks will take place, plus a full show in all divisions starting at 6 p.m. Merrittville Speedway will have the Southern Ontario Sprint Car Series and a full show with the 358 Modifieds and Hoosier Stocks, the Mod Lights and 4-cylinders on the card as well, starting at 7 p.m. No racing this coming Saturday night at Genesee due to graduation nights locally there. Thunder Mountain Speedway, same for them. Graduation week as well. They'll take the time off. Ransomville Speedway will have a full show featuring the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds at 7:15 at the Big R. Lebanon Valley, 6 big divisions of racing featuring the Dirt Car Big Block Modified starting at 6 p.m. Saturday night. Looking at some of the major series for Dirt Car Northeast, the Super Dirt Car Series will be back at the Land of Legends Speedway July the 3rd. Dirt Car 358s, we talked about them. They'll be at Fulton on Wednesday, June 21st. Dirt Car Sportsman, the regional action continues for them. June 24th, Land of Legends Raceway. East Series will be at the Bear Ridge Speedway July 29th. Brewerton Speedway for the Central Opener on June 23rd. Can-Am Speedway, the PAP Shootout Night, Wednesday, June 28th for the North Regional Series Opener. Dirt Car Pro Stocks will open their series at Brewerton Speedway on August the 14th. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our show here on In the Dirt. Once again, want to thank the good folks at Disaster RX DKI, Draper Doors, Rito Acres Campground, and Alexandria Home Hardware. Again, a big thank you to Mark Hitchcock once again for allowing us to use his beautiful facility out here, his man cave as he calls it, all sorts of things and stuff out here to see. And again, thanks so much for his time out here to chat with us here on In the Dirt. Remember, like and subscribe if you've not done so already. We'll see you next week right here on In the Dirt. We'll see you at the races as well. You've been watching our great show, In the Dirt, right here on YouTube. We'll see you soon.